What's going on, people? How you doing? TK coming at you. Today I want to talk to you guys about the investment mindset. Now, most of the time I point out the fact that a lot of people don't have the thought process or the desire to make money, get a job. At no part in your mind is it important to you, or is it on your radar where you should focus on assets and actually have more money spent on things that can put money back into your house. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, it's not just the average person that is that. It seems to be a common trait that is ingrained in the entire society, because the people who make more than average, those people who have high-paying jobs, or the people who get paid a lot of paper money, like rappers and famous people, like entertainers and sports people, they don't own shit either. There's very few who focus on assets. They have a high salary, they might be making $1 million contract, but you'll see that around their neck. You'll see that in a whole bunch of different liabilities. You don't see people that are highly paid actually spending money on, tangible assets that are long term. So it seems to be a common trait, not just in people who are average. Because if you have the conversation, with anybody you run into on the street, they'll be like, well, I don't care about assets because I can't afford them. And it's an interesting mindset, because you should really say, can you afford not to own assets? In other words, you're already losing with the little bit that you don't have, right? And you're going to be pushed into a continuous lower class as you solely rely on paper, and paper continues to devalue, so that the little bit of paper you have doesn't buy very much. So you're losing no matter what. And the mentality should be that no matter how much I can afford to acquire, if I have an asset, I'm not losing with paper. So the mindset is very unique, and it's interesting to me that most people, they don't really care about spending money on things that make money, or having any type of appreciating asset that goes up in value over time. So right now, any bit of extra money that I have, I typically spend it on gold, silver, or Bitcoin. I've been focusing on Bitcoin mining because I want to do a lot of cloud mining scale up, while people are ignoring cloud mining and ignoring mining altogether. I want to just increase the amount that I have to the point where by the time people wake up to it, I have a stronghold in that system and have a large amount of computing power that's working for me. So I look at it, and everybody should look at mining as a long-term investment. It's something you sacrifice for, so that later on in the future, the more you build up, the more it's going to pay you. And it's not a right now type thing, but that's just me. That's what I spend my money on. I believe in assets. I believe in making decisions today that can help my future. And I really try to pass that on to other people, but other people just aren't interested in that. The more I have these conversations, I think the less people pay attention to it. And the idea is simply to try to expose people to a different thought process. I've always walked to the beat of my own drum, and I want other people to have the opportunity to say that it's not that they didn't know, it's more about that they didn't care or they didn't pay attention. Because when I first got on this path of study and self-enlightenment, I asked the question to the people who already had it. I'm like, you guys have it, so obviously something you're doing is right. because you were able to produce some results. You have a lot of things I don't have. And I wanted to know, why is it that people who have don't even reach out to others and, share some of the information that you obviously have produced results with. And basically they were like, I talked to different people, but I'm summarizing my early experiences by saying the feedback that I received was basically saying that people who don't have the ability to listen. So I don't have the time to waste by trying to share anything with them. And the more I share information and the more I try to expose people to different concepts, the more that proves to be true. Somebody said a long time ago, if you give a poor person $1 million, they're just going to be poor in a year. So you're not helping them, you're enabling them, because you didn't get to the core problem, which is financial education and financial literacy. So people prove statistics to be true in their apathy, their total lack of interest. And it's sad, but it's a reality in this matrix that we live in. The drug of choice is apathy. People love to stay asleep. So there's nothing you can do. There's nothing I can do. But what I try to do is, like I said, show you something different. And maybe one day in the future, your subconscious pays attention, even if you don't pay attention. So maybe one day in the future, you'll be like, I was exposed to this information before, and you'll get to a point in your life where now you're ready. Now you're ready to buy some gold, buy some silver, focus on Bitcoin, start spending money on assets instead of living off of paper. So that's the hope. You guys be blessed. Remember, every decision you make today creates tomorrow. So start making some financial decisions that create the life you want to live.